So Destiny 2 is in a bit of a rut right now. We have, as of this recording, 56 days until the new episode begins, and about half that time until this episode gets its final act on August 27th. Now, I've been taking a break from Destiny, as I'm sure most of you can glean from the fact that I haven't uploaded in a while, and it's allowed me to take a step back and realize some things. And this might not be something that takes a whole lot of realization or reflection, but I really wish that Project Payback was a TV show instead. Something in that realm, because Destiny is such a rich environment for something like that. Now, you're probably wondering, what would this TV show be based around? And, there's so many possibilities for that. I was thinking, for one example, there could have been a small mini-series before the final shape that showed us the origin of the Witness all the way up to current events. Obviously something that a lot of people have been clamoring for, at least for, some sort of on-screen depiction, is how the other 5 members of Eris's fire team became subdued. I say subdued because, technically Toland is still alive, but yeah, everyone else is dead in that scenario. I guess if you count the one fire team member that's technically inside Xenophage, they're not all dead, but still, it would be interesting to see that depicted in a series. Now, the reason I say that a TV series would be phenomenal for the Destiny franchise isn't just because it would bring in new people who maybe have never played the game, but it would also get people itching to play the game. You could also coincide this with some sort of in-game event happening alongside the show, which would, again, be very cool. And, just as a bit of a barometer for something like this, we look at one of the most successful video game TV show adaptations in Amazon Prime's Fallout series, and yeah, it more than doubled Fallout's concurrent players on Steam after the release of that series. That's just on Steam, by the way. You can play Fallout on Xbox, PS4, or PlayStation. So, that's just one area of sampling for the increase in players. But something very similar could happen for Destiny in that case. Now, granted, I do think the increase in players was temporary, but even then, if this was a consistent thing where, maybe it's like once a year, once every other year, like a new season comes out. And again, there's just so much lore in the Destiny universe that you would never run out of material. I mean, it just makes the most sense for the game. Now, whatever Project Payback was going to be, it seemed like it could have been good, but we'll never know. To me, it's just so sad how we have so many rich and exciting lore interactions, and it's just crazy to me how there's so much lore in this game, and none of it has made the TV screen, the streaming scene, or, the big screen, right? You have the erection of the wall, the Battle of Twilight Gap, which had so many influential characters. Even Aramis was at that battle. You have the Book of Sorrows, like Sithona being first influenced by the Witness, all those millennia ago, or however long ago that was. I'm sorry, I'm not a lore aficionado, but it was a while ago. Of course, Eris's fire team and Crota just destroying millions of guardians. It's crazy how we'll possibly never see that stuff adapted to the TV screen. So hopefully someone's listening. Someone has seen the success of, not only Fallout, but Last of Us is another good example of a TV series that was adapted from a video game, where, a lot of people who have never touched video games in their lives realize how video games are such a great avenue for storytelling. and not just in the small cone of playing those games, but also outside of those games. Now, obviously adapting Destiny's story into a TV series would be just very difficult because of the inconsistencies and all that, which is why you'd want to focus on events that happened in the lore that were just super important for the overall story of the game. And again, there's just so much. Like, this stuff is literally, it's already written, it's out there. All Bungie or Sony would have to do is put it together. Like, it's not crazy. Now, again, I'm not a business person, I'm not a showrunner, so excuse me if it's maybe not as easy as I'm making it seem, but it does seem that if Bungie and Sony were going to try to find a way to increase the player base and give Destiny the defibrillator that it needs to get back on its feet, this is one way they could do it. And it certainly makes a lot more sense than making a whole other IP, a whole different game that's a third-person shooter that just strays away from the success that Destiny has had, when you can just take some parts of Destiny, put it into a show, and both get new people to watch this show, maybe pick up the game, and get new players, or rather returning players, excited about playing the game again. To me, it seems like a no-brainer, but let me know if anyone who has experience in making a show or any of that, is it this easy? Would it take more work than maybe I'm suggesting? I would think so, because, it's one thing to make a show, it's another to make a show good and enjoyable. Obviously, the work that goes into the Fallout series, and The Last of Us it's a lot, but one thing that Destiny can do, as opposed to what those series have done, is an animated series, which, at least in terms of cost, might be a little bit less, depending on how heavy they want to animate certain things. At least they wouldn't have to travel to locations, hire live action people. I don't know. That's just, I'm speculating here, of course, for the most part, but I think it just makes so much sense. Let me know your guys' thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one.